Welcome back to the cryptowrld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now the Bitcoin price is still playing out that bounce from this important Fibonacci level. And right now we're possibly seeing a breakout in the daily RSI, so this is important to pay attention to. And on top of that, I'll be taking a look at some other important Bitcoin charts, the US dollar currency index, and what's happening in the US stock market. So definitely make sure you're watching all the way to the end of the video so that you don't miss out on any of this important information. And just before we jump into it, you might as well leave a like down below. And if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe with notifications turned on for more updates just like this every single day. But with all of that out of the way, let's get straight into what this video is about. So right here on the Bitcoin US dollar chart on the daily time frame, we've still got our same Fibonacci levels we've been looking at over the past few days. In fact, we've been looking at the 78.6% Fibonacci level as major support for the Bitcoin price for a little over a week now, and that level is coming in at around 35k, and obviously we are still finding support at that level with this nice bounce back to the upside, but we are certainly not out of the woods yet. We have a lot of resistance ahead of us. But anyway, if you're looking in the daily RSI for Bitcoin, obviously we've been in this downtrend for quite some time for the last few months or so, and as of right now, the daily RSI is potentially breaking above this descending line of resistance, which would be a bullish sign if we see a daily candle close confirming this break to the upside. So at the time of recording this video, we have not confirmed the break above this descending line of resistance in the daily RSI. I want to make that clear. But if we do confirm this daily candle close in the green and we end up seeing this daily RSI move further above this descending line of resistance, then in that case, obviously we're finally breaking through after we see those confirmations that I just mentioned. And that would be one of the first major signals on the chart that we would need to see before the Bitcoin price can finally begin its road to recovery. And as for some important levels to pay attention to in the shorter term, of course, we've got that 35k support if we do see a rejection here. But as for some resistance, we have some major resistance starting at around 35,500 and going up towards 41,000 approximately, because that was this previous golden pocket on the logarithmic settings, and that was also the September low. So there's definitely a lot of significance around $40,000 approximately. So obviously a break above 40k with confirmation would be very bullish for Bitcoin, but right now we have not seen that. So while we're still below that point of resistance, it's important to just remain cautious for now. And something else on the charts that I've been telling you that I personally would be looking out for to help confirm a possible recovery back to the upside, and that would be if the 3-day RSI breaks this downtrend. And right now we are potentially getting close to that, but once again we haven't seen a confirmed break above this. For that to happen, we need to see a 3 daily candle close, and the next 3 daily candle close for Bitcoin is in just over a day from now, around 1.5 days or so. So between now and then, if we do end up playing out some more bullish price action in the shorter term, then in that case we could see a break above this descending line of resistance on the 3-day time frame finally. And once we finally see that sort of thing happening, then there's a good chance that we're beginning at least some sort of recovery or relief rally, similar to these previous examples that I've mapped out on the chart right back here. But once again, I want to make it clear that right now we have not confirmed the break above this descending line of resistance in the RSI. So obviously it's important for us to not get our hopes up too early, just in case we do end up getting rejected at the $40,000 level or something like that, because technically speaking, we haven't actually broken the downtrend just yet. But with that being said, staying on the 3-day time frame for Bitcoin, what we could see is a bullish divergence between the price action and the 3-day MACD indicator. Now, it is important to mention that while this is still in its formation phase, technically we could still play out some bearish price action similar to what we saw back here, for example, and what we have been seeing while we're still forming this bullish divergence. And so really what we should be waiting for to confirm a possible recovery is a bullish cross in the 3-day MACD, which we have not seen just yet. But as this bullish divergence suggests, we are potentially getting closer to one. And you can simply see the last time we saw something like this play out, which was back during May, June, and July. And then the moment we finally saw the bullish cross in a 3-day MACD, at that point right there, that was when the Bitcoin price was bottoming out and getting ready for another major move back to the upside. And just before I get into a brand new signal in the US dollar currency index, which is very important for Bitcoin holders, first I have a brand new announcement. A lot of you have been suggesting this, so I will be making an official Instagram. You can find a link to my new Instagram in the description down below. In fact, it will be the first link in the description. And the type of content that I will be posting over there is some crypto related and some non-crypto related. So basically, if you want to get some bonus crypto content, and also if you want to know what I'm doing outside of crypto, then you might as well check this out because it costs you nothing. And once again, I'll have a link to this in the description down below and also in the pinned comment. But anyway, giving you a quick update on what's happening in the US dollar currency index. Before we get into the new info, just to quickly recap, we were talking about this W pattern yesterday on the channel, which has the price target towards 98 on the US dollar currency index, which is right where the golden pocket is coming into play, which is the most important importance Fibonacci level. And also in that video, I explained for the brand new viewers that if the US dollar currency index is going to the upside, that is bearish for the Bitcoin price. But if the US dollar is falling to the downside, like what we saw at the end of 2020 and the beginning of 2021, that is very bullish for the Bitcoin price. So right now, the US dollar is in an uptrend here on the 3-day time frame, which means Bitcoin is technically in more of a bearish phase in the market, obviously. But because the US dollar currency index is running into this price target and this important Fibonacci level, that could act as major resistance. And if it does, if we end up seeing a reversal from that level, obviously that's going to be bullish for Bitcoin moving forward. And on top of that, something that I did not mention in yesterday's update video was a bearish divergence that is also forming on the 3-day time frame. You can see here in the 3-day RSI that we are forming lower highs, while in the price action we are seeing higher highs, which is once again a bearish divergence. And for the beginners out there, that just basically means that the buyers are potentially losing steam. And so if this actually confirms, we could see a cool off in the US dollar, which would be bullish for Bitcoin once again. But for this to confirm, we need to confirm some sort of peak in the RSI. So basically we need to see the RSI come back down a little bit to actually confirm that we have at least put in a new lower high, because as of right now, technically speaking, there is a possibility that this could keep going to the upside because we haven't actually confirmed this high right here. And so obviously if the RSI keeps going to the upside and breaks above this previous high, then in that case, we no longer have this bearish divergence. So basically what we need to see for this to actually confirm is a 3-daily candle that is in the red, and then we need to close that 3-daily candle in the red, which would bring the RSI down a little bit and confirm this bearish divergence. So I want to make it clear that we have not confirmed this just yet, but we are potentially seeing these sort of signals on the charts right now that could possibly lead into a bit of a call off or a bit of a pullback in the US dollar, which could be bullish for Bitcoin if that does end up playing out. And now giving you a quick update on the stock market. This right here is the S&P 500 index on the daily time frame. And what's great to see here is the most recent daily candle close was obviously a very strong daily candle close. It was not only a green day, but it was also the highest daily candle close that we have seen in about a week in the S&P 500 index, which basically says that over the past 1 week, we didn't really head to the downside. We've basically been reaching some sort of short-term bottom and consolidating sideways. So in the shorter term, going into next week, if we continue to see more strength out of the stock market, then that is also really good for the Bitcoin price, because for anyone new to the channel, the Bitcoin price and the stock market are pretty correlated most of the time. And while we're talking about the stock market, I'll just quickly remind you about this fractal right now in the Nasdaq 100 index. This is on the 2-day time frame, and looking at the Fibonacci candles, what we are seeing right here is a broadening formation, which is typically a bearish pattern in the stock market. But the last time that we saw something like this in the stock market was in the S&P 500 index on the 2-week time frame in the same Fibonacci candles, and this was leading into the beginning of 2020, so around 2 years ago. And that right there was the March 2020 crash, which was a very severe crash in the stock market and also for Bitcoin. And when everyone was panicking in the market, thinking that we're just going to crash forever, we got closer towards this descending line of support, but we never actually reached that support line. So basically, just above that level, we saw a bounce in the stock market and entered into a recovery back to the upside. And as of right now, in the shorter term, we have been seeing a small bounce in the stock market. And this is also just above this descending line of support, very similar to what we saw back here. Obviously, there's never any guarantees in the market, so I want to make that clear, but I thought this is still something interesting to pay attention to anyway. But anyway, if you made it this far in the video, make sure to leave a like down below. And if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe with notifications turned on so that you don't miss out on any of these important updates that I post every single day. Also, you've probably already noticed, and for those of you that follow me over on my Twitter, you would already know this, but just recently, this silver play button arrived, which is something that you get for 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. And I've already said thank you over on my Twitter, but I'll definitely say thank you in this video as well, because it is all of you that has actually made this possible. So seriously, I cannot thank you enough, and I honestly appreciate all of you. But anyway, that is it for this update. I really hope you enjoyed, and don't forget to follow me over on my Instagram, and I'll see you all in the next video.